Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Dojo Live. This is the recap show.
The
Today's
recap
Monday.
show.
That's right. Today's Monday, May 3rd, 2021. We're almost halfway through the year. Can you believe it? Anyway, we're
Indeed.
recapping last week's show. We only had one show last week, so this should be easy because we try to do it in 10 minutes. So the show was with Ben Askarinanam,
Ascarinum.
Askarinam, and Zeev Dreher, who are
Yeah.
the founder and CEO and VP of Corporate Strategy, respectively, of Niagara Networks. We talked about the importance of network visibility and the product that they're offering, but also I thought it was an interesting conversation about their culture, how they run their business, how they treat everyone like they're part of an extended family. It really felt like I was listening to
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
who really cared about people. The thing that stood out the most for me is the fact that they took many iterations, or as many like to call it, pivots, to get to where they are. And even though they've sort of cracked the code on the product offering that they have in the marketplace, they heavily invest in R&D. And it really made me think about the fact that how do you create an environment at work where people have a sense of belonging, their job have meaning, but they can also make an impact. And probably the best way for engineers to have an impact is to make them have a bunch of R&D projects that they can tackle. I mean, it's just brilliant that they invest so much in R&D because it keeps everyone engaged, looking for new solutions, testing things, breaking things, and ultimately that's like the engineer's dream come true, right? What do you guys thought about? What did you guys think about the show?
The, sh- the show in general, I think it went very nice, Tulio. And it has to do with something that you just mentioned. It's about the way they treat their people, the way they see the human element of the equation. And I think I even mentioned it several times when we were talking to these gentlemen. I said something like, does this ring a bell? And this is because I've heard so many aspects, components of their culture that are very, very similar to the ones that you, Kim, Tulu, and myself were all familiar with, right? So it's like how they care about their the empathy towards their team, and how the way they build their relationships internally, and how they treat people overall. So it's as you mentioned, Julio, before we went on the air today. It's I think that this is the kind of company that, and I mean, you ask me, I would love to go work with them, right? And this is because of their culture. So I think that was unique. I mean, I couldn't say much about the tech aspect of the conversation, but because it's something a little bit on the esoteric side for me personally. But I would love to go work for these guys and see, just experience the Niagara atmosphere for a little while. So yeah, I'm all for it.
What did you think, Kim?
Definitely. First of all, I want to clarify for those of you who are not just listening to us today, but watching us. Carlos, I was not shushing you. I was shushing my daughters. Like,
well, you, Kim, look at it this way. You wouldn't have to shush me. I shush myself, right?
Yeah, mute.
No worries.
But yeah, I would agree. I think another thing that really stuck out to me with this particular show, with the nature of what Niagara does, and network security, it can be a tough space. It's relatively new for the company, not for their role, and just this constant need to pivot, to be agile. And the theme of their show, which they chose, was "You only fail when you stop trying," and just that encouragement as a company of just having this get up and go, dust yourself off, try again attitude. And I think one of my favorite quotes was something to the effect of, "Tough times don't last forever, but tough people do." And I think that's a lesson that we could take to our professional lives, our business lives, as well as our personal lives.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they had some challenges, especially since they were bootstrapped. They didn't have any external investors. They probably funded most of it, if not all of it, out of his own pocket. So that creates extra stress when you're trying to figure out what kind of product or service offering is going to stick. But there are, a couple of things that he shared that I thought were very interesting. One is that they worked very closely with their customers and listened and paid attention and eventually shaped a service offering that a lot of carriers, small or large carriers, and even even large enterprises and even government clients. The internet is wonderful, but if you can't track the connection points, if you can't secure them, you've got a problem. So you have to have a way to see what's going on at any given moment, and you have to be able to do it proactively, especially with mission critical applications. So there's many components that make everything work, and the network is one of them, and they've seemed to have mastered how to do that effectively. So I love speaking to companies that are international in nature. The other thing that I noticed, the VP of corporate strategy and marketing is in Israel. The CEO and founder lives in LA, but commutes to the Bay Area, and the head of marketing is in Israel. And if you look at their LinkedIn profile, they have folks all over the world. So that's another example too, that companies that have already had that international no walls mindset to their business probably thrived a lot faster and sooner during this pandemic than those who have been very tied to it in the office. Everyone has to be in the office. I need my senior executives in the office next to me. That's kind of the mindset of a lot of CEOs. And I think we've learned this past year that that's not true, number one. Number two, you can be very effective without that. And those companies that have been doing it for a long time get the very best people they can wherever they find them.
It works in their business model, because I think what they have to do, they need to follow the sun, right, in order to keep their business active 24 hours a day. But but there's also this added this added extra spice. We talked about food, I think, even online, of just the variety of people and the talent and perspectives that's going to make your product and your company so much better as well.
So anyway, it was great to have him as a guest. If you missed it, check it out. You can see it on the site. All you got to do is go on dojo.live. Just type in dojo.live. We're about to change our entire domain to that, dojo.live. Just remember that. That's not hard to remember. Dojo.live. So what do we got coming up this week, Carlos?
We got a full week, Tulio. We got the 3 shows lined up. The one on Tuesday is we're going to be speaking with Franz Huang, I hope I pronounced it correctly, the principal of Boodle.ai, which is enriched analytics platform. And then on Wednesday, we're going to be speaking with Anne-Sophie Leblois, or Leblois. I also hope I got that right. And she is the principal of Ravicon, which is automation, analytics, and real-time collaboration tool. And then finally on Thursday, we're going to be speaking with, again, here's another tricky name, Maor or Mayor. Bear with me, guys. These are all, foreign names to me. So, and the principal of A Policy, which is a security and compliance automation platform. I'm looking forward to just learning what these are all about, and that's what we have for this week. We have a full week ahead.
Nice. Kim, have you noticed that since Carlo has his arm on a sling, unfortunately got hurt, so all the medications he's taking, he sounds like a New Yorker today.
I didn't hear that. But.
What the beep? What are you talking about?
Anyway, come back tomorrow, right? Tomorrow at 12 o'clock p.m. What you talking
about, Willis?
All right, guys. Come back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Stay safe.
Bye.
Stay safe, everyone.